Let me be real with you. I wasn't born with this energy, this confidence, this life you see me living today. I was broke. I was scared. I was angry. I was alone. But here's the truth. It was in those moments when there was no one to call, no one to cheer me on, no one to pick me up, that I discovered who I really was. And that's what today is about. It's about finding that part of you that's unstoppable. It's about learning to rise when no one's clapping for you. It's about making the decision to D-O-I-T-A alone, because when you can do it alone, you become a force no one can stop. Decide you're done waiting. Really feel what that means. Most people live their entire lives waiting for the perfect time, waiting for more money, waiting for someone to validate their dream. But let me tell you, the perfect time doesn't exist. If you keep waiting, life will pass you by and you'll wake up 10 years from now wondering where your dreams went. The moment you decide, truly decide, everything changes. Decision is power. When you decide, you cut off any other possibility. You burn the boats. You stop saying someday and you start saying no. Right now is the only time you've got. If you want momentum, you've got to move. Waiting is the enemy of progress. There's a part of you that already knows what to do. Trust it. Don't wait for courage to show up before you take action. Take action and courage will follow. Most people are stuck because they are waiting for the outside world to tell them they're ready. You're not waiting for the world. You're waiting for yourself. Decide right now that this is the moment you stop hesitating and start creating the life you were meant to live. You don't need a cheerleader. You don't need a green light. You don't need permission. The power is already inside of you. Decide to unleash it and then use pain as fuel. Every one of us has been hurt. We've all had moments where we felt betrayed, rejected, abandoned. The difference between people who thrive and people who stay stuck is what they do with that pain. Pain can either chain you down or set you free. If you let it, pain can become the most powerful motivator in your life. Think about it. Pain is what forces you to grow. Pain is what wakes you up at night and says, I can't live like this anymore. Instead of running from it, lean into it. Don't numb it. Don't bury it. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. Use it. Take every disappointment, every setback, every scar and say, this is my fire. This is my reason. Some of the most successful, fulfilled people on this planet are people who turned their pain into purpose. When life knocks you down, you get to decide what it means. You can decide it means you're broken, or you can decide it means you're being forged into something stronger. Every struggle, every heartbreak, every loss, it's all raw material. Build with it. Channel it. Turn your pain into power, because that pain is the proof that you're alive and you still have fight left in you. And that fight, that hunger, is what's going to take you to the next level. Be your own biggest fan, because if you don't believe in you, no one else will. Stop waiting for someone to clap for you. Stop waiting for the world to validate you. You can spend your whole life trying to impress other people, trying to make everyone around you proud, and still feel empty. Why? Because you never stop to make yourself proud first. You've got to learn to celebrate yourself. Celebrate your progress, your small wins, your effort. If you keep waiting for external applause, you're going to stay stuck in the prison of other people's opinions. The truth is, most people are too busy worrying about themselves to notice you anyway. So why not give yourself the credit you deserve? Look in the mirror and acknowledge the work you've done to get here. Speak life into yourself. Tell yourself you're capable, you're strong, you're unstoppable. The words you speak over yourself are powerful. They either break you down or build you up. Stop talking to yourself like an enemy and start talking to yourself like a coach who wants to see you win. Hype yourself up. If you keep waiting for someone else to crown you, you'll be waiting forever. Crown yourself. Cheer yourself on. Applaud yourself before anyone else does, because when you finally learn to be your own biggest fan, nothing outside of you can shake your confidence. You become unshakable because your worth isn't dependent on likes, followers, or approval. It's built on the foundation of self-respect and self-belief. Find strength in solitude, because this is where the real transformation happens. Most people are terrified of being alone. They fill their lives with noise, distractions, people, anything to avoid sitting with themselves. But the truth is, solitude is where you meet the real you. It's where you discover what you actually want, what you actually believe, what you're actually capable of. When no one's around, when no one's telling you what to do, when the world goes quiet, that's when your inner voice gets loud. And if you listen to that voice, it will guide you toward the life you're meant to live. Strength isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows when no one's watching. This is where the reps get done. This is where discipline is forged. This is where clarity is born. Learn to love your own company, because if you can be comfortable alone, you can be unstoppable anywhere. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's power. It's where you build the emotional muscle to face anything life throws at you. When you master being alone, you stop chasing people who don't value you. You stop needing constant validation. You stop fearing rejection. You stand grounded in who you are, and that strength radiates into everything you do. Take one bold step, just one. That's all it takes to start changing your life. Most people get overwhelmed because they look at the entire mountain they have to climb and they freeze. They think about the 100 steps ahead and forget the only step that matters is the next one. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait until you have all the answers. Clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from moving. Action is where momentum is born. That first bold step will feel uncomfortable. It will feel risky, but that's exactly why it's powerful. You have to be willing to disrupt your comfort zone to access the next level of your life. That step might be making the phone call you've been putting off, having the tough conversation, starting the business, signing up for the class. Whatever it is, stop overanalyzing it and do it. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to step on the first stair. Every bold move you make builds confidence, and confidence builds more action. Boldness becomes a habit. The difference between people who dream and people who win is that the winners act scared, unsure, imperfect, but they act. One bold step today can change everything about tomorrow. Fall in love with discomfort, because discomfort is the doorway to growth. Everybody says they want a bigger life, but what they're really saying is they want a bigger life without any inconvenience, without any pain. That's not how it works. Every transformation in your life will come wrapped in discomfort. Growth hurts. Change hurts. But staying the same hurts worse. You have to make a decision. Which pain do you want? The pain of discipline or the pain of regret? When you learn to lean into discomfort instead of running from it, you build emotional calluses that make you stronger. The things that scare you, the things that challenge you, the things that stretch you. That's where the magic is. That's where your character is forged. Discomfort is feedback that you're on the edge of something new. If it feels easy, it's not growth. If it feels safe, it's not change. Train yourself to see discomfort as a green light instead of a red one. When fear shows up, when resistance shows up, smile and step forward anyway. Because if you keep choosing what's comfortable, you'll keep getting the same results. But if you choose what's uncomfortable, you unlock your potential. And once you realize discomfort is where the breakthroughs lie, you'll start to crave it. Because that's where your next level waits. Ignore the noise. Because if you listen to every critic, every doubter, every negative voice around you, you'll never move. The world is loud. Everyone has an opinion about what you should do, who you should be, how you should live. But most of those voices aren't even living their own dreams. They're projecting their fears onto you. You can't afford to let other people's doubts become your reality. Stop taking advice from people who aren't where you want to be. You have to build a filter for your mind. Protect your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. If you let every distraction, every piece of negativity, every comment on social media get inside your head, you'll waste all your energy fighting ghosts instead of building your future. Turn down the volume on the world and turn up the volume on your vision. Get quiet enough to hear your own instincts. When someone tells you it's impossible, what they're really saying is it's impossible for them. Don't let that limit you. The greats, the game changers, the people you admire, they were all told they were crazy before they were called geniuses. So ignore the noise. Stay obsessed with your mission. Let your results do the talking. Build self-trust. Because if you can't count on yourself, you won't get anywhere. Confidence isn't just about feeling good. It's about knowing that when you say you're going to do something, you do it. And most people have broken so many promises to themselves that they don't believe their own word anymore. And when you don't trust yourself, you hesitate, you second guess, you sabotage. The solution is simple but powerful. Start keeping small promises. Start with something so small you can't fail. Wake up when you say you will. Drink out the extra glass of water. Finish the task you said you'd do today. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you stack a brick of confidence. Over time, you build an unshakable foundation. You start to believe, if I say it, I'll do it. And that belief is everything. Because once you trust yourself, you stop needing permission, you stop hesitating, you stop negotiating with your dreams. You start taking bold, decisive action because you know you'll follow through. And that's when you become unstoppable. Self-trust is the ultimate superpower because when you can rely on yourself, you can handle anything life throws at you. Be relentless because the moment you feel tired, the moment you feel like you've hit the wall, that's where most people quit. That's where 99% stop. But if you want to change your life, you can't stop there. You've got to dig deeper. You've got to push past the point where it's comfortable because that's where the breakthrough lies. Relentlessness isn't about working until you collapse. It's about deciding you won't stop until you get what you came for. It's about having the hunger to keep going even when there's no applause, no recognition, no instant result. The people you look up to, the champions, the leaders, the success stories, they didn't get there because they worked when it was easy. They got there because they kept swinging when it hurt. They found a way when there was no way. You have to develop that grit, that emotional muscle that says, I will not stop until this is done. Every time you keep going when most people quit, you separate yourself from the pack. You become the kind of person who doesn't just dream, you deliver. Relentlessness is what turns effort into mastery and pain into transformation. Celebrate progress, not perfection, because perfection is a trap that keeps you from moving. Most people don't take action because they think it has to be flawless. They think they have to have it all figured out before they start. But perfection doesn't exist. It's an illusion that keeps you stuck. What matters is that you're moving forward. Progress is power. Progress builds momentum. Even the smallest step forward is a win because it proves to your brain that you're capable of change. When you celebrate progress, you rewire yourself for more action. You build motivation instead of waiting for it to magically appear. Stop beating yourself up for not being perfect. Perfection isn't the goal, growth is. Every mistake, every stumble, every imperfect attempt is part of the process. It's data, it's feedback, it's what sharpens you. The only way you fail is if you stop. But if you keep moving forward, even an inch at a time, you're winning. When you shift your focus from being perfect to simply getting better every day, you free yourself. You become dangerous because nothing can stop someone who refuses to quit just because it isn't flawless. Turn pain into power because the very thing you think is breaking you is actually the thing that can make you unstoppable. Every person in this room has a story, a scar, a wound that hurts so badly you thought you'd never recover. But here's the truth. Pain is life's way of waking you up. Pain is feedback that something has to change. You can let it crush you, or you can let it shape you into something extraordinary. The most successful, fulfilled people on this planet are the ones who decided their pain would not be wasted. They turned heartbreak into hunger, rejection into resilience, loss into laser focus. You have the same ability. When something knocks you down, you have two choices: stay there or rise stronger. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can this make me better? When you reframe pain as a teacher, you strip it of its power to control you. Instead of running from it, channel it. Use it as rocket fuel. Let it ignite your drive to become more, do more, give more. Pain can be the fire that burns away fear and leaves only strength. The day you decide your pain is going to work for you instead of against you is the day you become unbreakable. Lead yourself first, because leadership doesn't start with a title, it starts with a choice. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead anyone else. Leading yourself means taking control of your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. It means being the kind of person who does what needs to be done even when no one is watching. It means holding yourself to a higher standard, showing up with integrity, setting the example. Stop waiting for someone else to guide you, motivate you, inspire you. Become that for yourself. When you master self-leadership, you stop being reactive and start being proactive. You stop blaming circumstances and start creating outcomes. People are drawn to those who know where they're going and who walk their path with certainty. And here's the magic. When you lead yourself with clarity and commitment, you naturally inspire others to rise too. You become the lighthouse that helps them navigate their storms. Leadership isn't about controlling people. It's about becoming the kind of person who shows others what's possible by the way you live. Lead yourself first and watch how your example gives permission for others to step into their own greatness.